Today, I'm going to talk about sales in Japan, also known as how to sell products and services in Japan. The book I'm referring to today comprehensively maps out sales activities in Japan, highlights major problems, and offers solutions for becoming a successful salesperson in Japan. By the end of this video, you will understand why your competitors are not really the problem when it comes to direct selling. This video breaks down the topic into 4 elements: the real reason why people turn down your offer, understanding the gap, identifying the real competitor, and the 4 steps of listening correctly in Japan. First, what is the real reason why people reject your offer? Many people ask me what Japanese people think during meetings, after meetings, or when exchanging emails. Japanese people often don't clearly express their thoughts, especially feedback on products, services, pricing, and timing, all crucial for accelerating the sales process. Even for Japanese people, distinguishing between the real reason and the superficial reason can be challenging. This book provides insights and data on why people reject offers. The 2 superficial reasons are often that a competitor's price was better or the proposal didn't match their needs. However, the real reasons are usually about ROI, poor response, or the current vendor being better than what you're offering. When companies reject offers, they often simplify their reasons to make the rejection seem reasonable. This happens frequently. If you want to deliver the real reason why, and Japan is not familiar with English, understanding these rejections can be difficult. And I want you to remember that poor response is extremely important in this book. Communication is fundamental when it comes to sales activities. You have to communicate with the client and with your boss or senior management to accelerate the sales process. If you respond poorly, both externally and internally, you are probably not in the right spot to get the clients. The reason why clients don't understand ROI is because the salesperson poorly communicated or poorly responded to their requests. If the current partner is better, it's likely because they communicate better. That may be why the customer considers your proposal unconvincing. So, there are 3 major points to consider: ROI, poor response, and existing vendors. Next is the gap. This gap often focuses on poor response. What does poor response mean? According to this book, good sales are defined by 2 main factors: understanding the client's intentions and the ability to propose solutions that match their needs. Data shows that companies value on-point conversations and an attitude of actively solving customer issues and challenges, not selling your products or services. If your conversation isn't on point, it creates a gap between what your target customers want and what you offer. This communication gap often stems from poor responses, such as late responses or answers that are not on point. When customers ask questions and you provide different answers, it can lead to rejections because your proposal does not align with the client's perspective. Clients want a salesperson who understands their needs. Japanese companies might not always explain why they want a proposal, so the salesperson needs to bridge the gap between targets and offerings. If you want to sell in Japan, being a good listener is key to extracting important information from meetings. Japanese customers often want sales combined with consultation. While consulting companies charge fees, sales should involve consulting to some extent. Understanding what clients want and their challenges is crucial. If the target customers lay out where they are, where they want to be, and the specific challenges they face, proposing becomes easy. However, that's not always the case. You have to ask and understand those prerequisite factors before you send your proposal. It might seem easy to identify ROI and understand the customer's needs, but it's often more complicated. This leads to the 3rd point: competitors are not your real competitors. Data shows that many salespeople don't understand customer needs, don't communicate well, or don't ask the right questions. This frustrates procurement divisions who have to interact with multiple candidates, leading to a general distrust of salespeople who don't listen or pretend to listen. Your worst enemy is not your competitors. but past salespeople who didn't understand customers. Clients are tired of self-centered salespeople who only talk about their products and services without addressing customer needs. If you are recognized as a self-centered salesperson, then your company's great case studies, product features, impressive customer voices, multiple logos you acquired in the past years, and great team accomplishments won't matter. You need to show that you are different by listening to your customers' challenges and concerns. If you jump straight into your business pitch, it will widen the gap, or they will act like they are listening and let you propose, but they have no intention literally to hire you as a new partner. Overseas companies selling in Japan need to understand why past companies fail. Skipping the consultation and understanding phase can lead to failure. Consider the customer's past experiences when proposing, not only product-wise, but also their sales experience. Then, the fourth and last point, implementing listening skills involves understanding customer needs and corporate directions. This book outlines 4 practical steps: alignment, intention, analysis, and specification. First, alignment is fundamental. If you don't align with your customer in the meeting, the rest of the meeting will be off. Recognize when the customer doesn't understand your terms or jargon. Break down new products or services so the customer can fully understand. This has to be done not only verbally, but also physically. Even if the person says yes, it doesn't mean he or she understands. You have to physically analyze the person's facial expressions or body language to see if they truly understand. Next, understand the intention behind their questions. If you don't understand the background or reason, you might give the wrong answer, creating miscommunication. Let's say the client asks for use cases of companies like theirs. You might show them the best use case you have. But if you don't understand their intention, you can't explain your use case based on what they want to hear. They might focus on functions, processes, time frames, challenges, additional costs, or something else entirely. If you understand the client's intention behind the question, your answer becomes crystal clear. Next, analysis involves letting the customer talk. Don't cut them off when they start using keywords related to your product. Be patient and let them finish. Otherwise, you might miss important information the client was about to say. Avoid becoming the selfish salesperson that clients hate by listening. Analysis means asking the right questions and patiently waiting until the client finishes their sentence. Lastly, specify what the client said. Generally speaking, there are 2 types of questions, open and closed. However, this limits how the client can answer. You can add 2 more types of questions: optional questions and what-if questions. Optional questions provide choices beyond yes or no, while what-if questions create scenarios that make it easier for the client to answer. These 4 steps: alignment, intention, analysis, and specification help minimize the communication gap with your clients. Over time, this builds a good relationship and shows that you listen well, making you more likely to bring the best proposal. By decreasing the communication gap, your conversations with clients will improve significantly. If you can win that deal, that's fantastic. However, if you can't, it's still great feedback because you communicated clearly, and you have clear feedback which you can use for the next time. If you continue doing this, the sales process cycle gets better and better, increasing your chances of getting into clients. So beat the client's worst sales experience by listening well and communicating well. If you can decrease the gap, that's when you can go further. That's it for today's video. I hope you learned something valuable and will try these techniques when selling in Japan. Let us know how it goes.